Adamu of Igboru was not a wicked man. He was not lazy and he was not foolish. In fact, he was one of the strongest young men in the village, broad-shouldered and quick with his hands. When farms needed clearing, Adamu was called. When palm trees needed climbing, Adamu was trusted. When trouble came from the forest, Adamu stood in front. But Adamu had one behavior that followed him like a shadow. He believed he was always right. He spoke with certainty, even when he knew little. He acted before listening. He corrected people older than his father. And worst of all, Adamu believed that admitting fault was weakness. In Igboru, respect was not demanded, it was earned daily. The elders noticed Adamu's behavior early, but they said nothing. They believed time would teach him what words could not. Time, however, waited for no one. The trouble began during the planting season. The rains had become unpredictable that year. Some days the sun burned fiercely, other days the clouds burst without warning. The elders gathered under the large Iroko tree to discuss when the community should plant their yams. Planting too early would waste seeds. Planting too late would starve families. Opinions were shared carefully. Then Adamu stood up. "We're wasting time," he said loudly. "The soil is ready. Anyone waiting for signs will regret it. I am planting tomorrow." The elders tried to explain. The oldest among them raised his hand and spoke calmly about past seasons, about patterns in the sky, about patience. Adamu shook his head. "With respect," he said, "stories do not feed people. Action does." The next morning, Adamu planted his entire farm alone. He mocked those who waited. Some youths, impressed by his confidence, followed him. Others stayed back. 3 days later, the rains stopped. The sun returned with anger. The seeds Adamu planted struggled in the dry soil. Leaves curled, shoots weakened. The elders waited. When the rain finally returned weeks later, most of Adamu's crops had already failed. He did not apologize. Instead, he blamed the sky. As months passed, Adamu's behavior became heavier. He interrupted meetings, he laughed at caution. When communal work was assigned, he did things his own way, ignoring instructions. When corrected, he argued. People began to avoid working beside him. One afternoon, a serious issue arose. A footpath connecting Igboru to the river had collapsed after heavy rain. Without it, women struggled to fetch water and traders avoided the village. The elders called for cooperation to rebuild it quickly. Adamu volunteered immediately. "I will lead this," he declared. "I know how to fix it faster." Without waiting for agreement, he directed people harshly. He dismissed suggestions. He rushed the work. When an elder advised reinforcing the base with stones, Adamu refused. "It will hold," he said. "You worry too much." The path looked finished by sunset. Adamu smiled proudly. That night, rain fell again. By dawn, the path had collapsed completely. Worse than before, mud slid into the river. The work of many hands was wasted. This time, silence followed. No insults, no shouting, just quiet disappointment. The elders did not punish Adamu. They simply removed him from leadership roles. When matters were discussed, they spoke around him, not to him. Adamu felt it deeply. He still worked, but now alone. He still spoke, but fewer listened. Pride, however, is stubborn. Then came the fire. It started in a distant compound one windy evening. Flames leapt quickly from roof to roof. Panic spread. People screamed for water. Children cried. Men ran with buckets and branches. Adamu rushed forward, shouting command. "Do it my way! Move there! Bring water here!" But no one followed. They followed the elders. The elders coordinated calmly, dividing tasks, protecting homes, controlling the wind direction with wet mats. The fire was contained before it reached the granaries. Adamu stood at the edge, sweating, watching. For the first time, strength was not enough. Voice was not enough. Confidence was not enough. That night, Adamu did not sleep. At dawn, he went to the house of the oldest woman in the village, one who rarely spoke but always observed. She knelt before her. "I am tired," she said simply. "People no longer hear me." She looked at him for a long time and replied, "They stopped hearing you when you stopped listening." Those words stayed. Change did not come quickly. Adamu struggled. Silence felt like weakness. Waiting felt like failure. But slowly, deliberately, he adjusted. He listened in meetings. He asked before acting. He admitted mistakes aloud. When someone corrected him, he nodded instead of arguing. People noticed. The next farming season, Adamu followed the elders' guidance. His crops grew well. When he helped others, he worked quietly. When praised, he thanked them briefly. Trust returned, not loudly, but steadily. Months later, when a new bridge was needed, the elders called Adamu again. This time, he did not rush. He did not command. He did not boast. He worked with others, not above them. The bridge stood firm. From that day, Igbohoru remembered Adamu not as the strongest man, but as the man who learned that strength without humility breaks itself. And the elders still say, strength without humility breaks itself.